Alright guys, welcome back. Make Brown here, and today's tutorial we are going to see step by step how to create a book in Blender. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the cube. Shift A and add a cube. Scale it on Z by pressing S and Z. Now scale it on Y by pressing S and Y axis. Again, scale it on X, a little bit on Y. Now press tab and go to edit mode. Make sure to take a face tool. Now select this face like that, shift and select this face, shift and select this one too. Now press Alt E and choose extrude face along the normal. Now extrude it down to something like that. Now select this face, this one, and this one by pressing shift and left click. Now press Alt E and choose extrude face along the normal. Now extrude it up to your liking. That is looking okay for me now. Now press Ctrl R and add a loop cut. Now scroll the middle mouse button to add many loop cut. You can add as many loop cut that you want. That is looking okay for me. Now left click. Now let's select this edge like that. By pressing shift and left click. This one too. This one also. And make sure to select only this edge like that. Now press Ctrl B to add a bevel. Let me cancel that to zoom a little bit close. Ctrl B to add a bevel. Now press Alt E and extrude it along the normal. Extrude it down to something like that. That is looking okay for me. Now let's go to modify property and add a subdivision surface. You can go with level viewport of 2. Now let's go back to edit mode. Now press Ctrl R to add a loop cut. Add it like that. Also right here. Another one right here. And maybe another one right here. Now let's press tab. Now press tab to go to object mode. Now right click and shade it smooth. As you can see, we have something like that. Maybe let's scale it a little bit on Y and a little bit on Z. And maybe decrease the level viewport. Alright, now it's looking okay. Now it's time to add a material and texture to this book. Let's first rotate it on X by 90 degrees so that we have that, and move it on Z. Now let's go to UV editor. My UV editor looking like that because it is not my first time to do this tutorial. But if your UV editor doesn't look like that, just go to image and open the image that I give you in the description. You can download this image texture in description so that you can use the same image that I'm used for my book. Now on this split, let's go to render view. In this tutorial, I will use Eevee because I don't have a strong computer. Let's go to Eevee. Make sure to check ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen space reflection. Now press number pad 1 and let's first apply our subdivision surface. Let's apply it. Now let's go to edit mode and select this face like that. Make sure to take a face 2. Now select this face like that by holding shift and left click to select the face. Make sure to select all the face. Shift left click, shift left click. Let's do the same thing right here. Maybe let's select this one too, like that, and this one, and this one. Guys, make sure to select all the face from front view. Alright, now let's go to front view. Now press U and go to projection from view. Now let's add 2 new material, one and other one. Now for this one, let's assign it and name it front texture. Let's assign it. To make sure that everything works properly, let's deselect and let's select it. I think everything is properly assigned. Now let's go to base color and choose image texture. Now let's open our image texture. The link is in the description so that you can use the same image. Now let's go to our UV. Now press A. We are going to start with this cover right here. Now scale it on X. Move it by pressing G. Let's also move all this thing. Now let's move it on Y. Scale it on X. Scale it down. Scale it on Y. I think this is looking okay. Maybe one more. G white. I think this is looking okay for me. Now let's go to layout. Let's open to split like that. On this one, let's go to shader editor and let's go to render. Number part 1 to go to front view. Now let's take this color and put it into height of the bump. Now let's take the bump, the normal of the bump, and put it into normal of the principal BSDF. Now, as you can see, we have a little bit of bump, but it is too strong right now. So let's decrease the strength to our liking. It is looking okay for me, something like that. Now let's take this color and put it into value of color ramp. No, value of color ramp, where is that? You know what, let's just take this color and put it into roughness. Now let's add a color ramp and put it right here. Now let's control that. Now for this face, press Ctrl number part 1. Now select the face like that and apply exactly the same step that I showed you earlier. It's exactly the same thing. First, let me back to UV editor. Do exactly the same thing that I showed you earlier, but in this face, choose this image texture. You press Ctrl number part 1, then you press U and choose projections from view. You move it like that. You scale it down. G. Scale it on Y. And now you go to material. You add a new one. Put a name, front material 2. And now you assign it. Now you go to base color, image texture. Now you choose the image texture. Now very simple. You're trying to match the image. Alright, as you can see now, we have that. And like we did here, let's go to shader editor. take this color and put it into height of the bump. Now take the bump and put it into normal. As you can see, now we have that, a little bit of bump, but it is too strong. Now let's take this color and put it into roughness. Now Shift A and add a color ramp to control that. Let's click on black color. As you can see, now we have a little bit. We have a little bit of roughness. Now let's end up with this face. Let's go back to UV editor. Let's rotate our book on Z axis by 90 degrees. And press number pad 1 to go to front view. Let's go to edit mode. Now let's select this face like that. Let's remove all this face, we don't want it. Alright guys, make sure to select only the face on this cover book like that. Alright, now press now press number pad 1 and now press U and choose projection from view. Now let's create a new material. Let's name it back and assign a new material. Now let's go to base color and add image texture. Open it and take it. Now let's remove the overlay. And now A to select all, G to move, S to scale, G to move, S and scale it on Y. Alright, I think it is looking okay. Now let's go to shader editor. Let's do the same thing like we did before. Take this color and put it into height of the bump. Now take the normal and put it into the normal. It is too strong right now. Let's decrease that. Something like that. Maybe a little bit more. And finally, let's take this color and put it into roughness. And now Shift A, add color ramp. Let's click on black color to control it. And voila, that is looking cool. Now Shift A and add a plane. Scale it. Now let's add a material on this plane. I will go with something like black color. Now let's decrease the roughness, and on render I'm using Eevee, and make sure to check ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen reflection. Now let's decrease the roughness a little bit more. And now if you want, you can duplicate your book, Shift D, rotate it, maybe rotate it on Z. Now Shift D, duplicate it on X, rotate it on Y by 90 degrees, move it on X, rotate it on Z, move it on Z. Alright guys, this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you learned something new, and thank you so much for your time. Keep learning Blender, keep learning. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.